What's up, everyone? Welcome to BCM, home of the safe bet. This is Michael, and it's been a while, but I'm back. Please remember to jab that like, share, subscribe, and notification icon. Check out our Patreon page to become a Patreon family member where you'll receive some cool perks. Want some merch? We've got t-shirts, the baseball caps, the phone covers, from boxing to crypto and everything in between. So head on over to InStock Shop to find something you like. You can find a link below. Stick around to the end to see what the experts have to say, but first I'll break down what I think. We are off to the home of Braveheart, Scotland, where unified and undisputed champ Josh Taylor finally gets the fight in front of a massive Scottish crowd against WBO mandatory Jack Catterall. It all goes down at the Hydro in Glasgow on the 26th of February. Josh the Tartan Tornado Taylor has often expressed disappointment at the circumstances affecting the lack of attendance of his native Scots at many of his fights abroad, and also at the lack of media attention back home in the UK, particularly after beating Jose Ramirez to collect the remaining WBC and WBO belts in the super lightweight division to complete the set and become unified and undisputed champ. Now, almost a year on from that fight, Taylor will enjoy some home ground advantage in a presumably emotionally charged bout. That's speculation because Taylor has always displayed poise and focus. But the fight also comes with it some ancient nationalistic dimension with representatives of two historical enemies, namely Scotland, represented by Taylor, and England, represented by Catterall. Taylor captured his first major belt in just his 15th professional bout, and only a few fights later collected and currently holds the full array of belts, including the Ring Magazine belt in the 140-pound division. His record stands at 18 victories with 13 by way of knockout, 0 losses or draws. A talented southpaw with a killer instinct, sharp and accurate punching and counter-punching, and one of the best ring IQ in the division, as well as the ability to stand and trade supported by a strong chin. Taylor is a force for any opponent, and his likely inevitable move up to welterweight holds some mouth-watering prospective fights, particularly against Terence Bud Crawford, if they can make it happen. I suspect wherever the Tartan Tornado ends up, he will leave a great deal of devastation in his wake, and at 31 years of age, he has time to cement his legacy as potentially one of the greatest fighters to come out of the United Kingdom. Jack El Gato Catterall is coming into this fight an underdog, but also undefeated and unfazed by the proclamations made by his challenger, Josh Taylor. Catterall has dismissed this bout as a nations versus nation fight, the extra dimension added to the matchup by Taylor, or even the claims made by Taylor that he is the superior boxer in every way and department. Catterall has displayed a quiet confidence in the lead-up, and it makes me wonder if Taylor is a little too confident, almost to the point that he may be overlooking Catterall. And if I'm thinking that, surely El Gato must have had the same very thought. Usually, Taylor is emotionally detached from fights and focused on the task at hand. His deliberate sledging and antagonizing of opponents is a tactic that Taylor has always used, and he isn't typically emotionally invested in that strategy. But is he underestimating Catterall and not taking him serious enough? With a record of 26 fights and 13 by way of knockout with 0 losses or draws, Jack Catterall comes into this fight knowing that an opponent has entered the ring with the sole intention of beating him down and failed every single time, and more than half of those fights ended with Catterall cancelling the need for judges' scorecards by way of his fists. Sounds impressive until you look at the resume and realise the only noteworthy name on there is maybe O'Hara Davies, who was given a beatdown and eventually taken out in the 7th round by Josh Taylor. This is a massive step up for Catterall, and anytime he has stepped up his competition and won, it's been by points decision. But against an accomplished boxer like Taylor, in his native Scotland and keeper of all belts, Catterall is going to have to work a miracle to pull off a victory against Taylor. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to take and share explicit images of my Loch Ness monster, but despite the impressive qualities that Catterall brings to the table, like finding and fighting from good angles, relatively quick hands and comfortable fighting outside and within close range, the scrappy southpaw will fall into many of the traps set up by Taylor, which will eventually wear Catterall down. Taylor is crafty, and the accumulation of shots delivered by him will take their toll. Taylor wins by knockout. Before we hear from the experts, a reminder that if you want to show your support, you can like, share and subscribe. You can help this channel grow by becoming a Patreon member. And don't forget to check out our online merch. Links provided in the description below. Life is a fight outside the ring, and I've certainly gone a few rounds. From substance abuse to depression to street fights and trouble with the law, my life has seen a lot of darkness, but I turned my life around, and my experiences might help you to do the same if you are or have dealt with similar hardships. It's all documented in my book, How to Get Out of Life Traps, and it's available on Amazon. Just find the link below.